Yo, what's going on, guys? Back with another white monster fueled video. Today we're going over things that kept me small for years. How this tier list is going to work is the higher something is up on the tier list, the more small it keeps you. Let's get it. First off, we got lightweight high reps. Now, every old head you'll talk to in the gym has some story about, oh, I used to bench 315, but I really got big repping out 135. They'll say some bullshit to you like that, and you'll think, huh, well, this big guy's telling me to go lightweight high reps, so it must work, right? 90% of the time, they're just old heads with a fuck ton of injuries and they can't train heavy because they literally can't. They just can't train heavy anymore. It's too injury risk for them. There is no injury risk if you control heavy weights and don't train like a retard. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, if you're not giving your muscles a reason to grow, why the fuck would they grow? Your muscles need a stimulus that's large enough to actually give your body a reason to grow. If you're doing fucking 40 reps, failing at 40, you think your body thinks to itself, well, I need to lift more weight next week. I need to adapt to get my muscles stronger and bigger, so I'll grow myself. No, it doesn't think that. It thinks, I just did a bunch of fucking cardio. That's just more tiring than anything. Because there's a difference between genuinely bringing your muscle to failure, training around 8 to 12 reps, versus training around 30 reps. And it's more easy to fail at 8 to 12 reps. So you're just exhausting your own body for less reward doing lightweight high reps. So there's not really a point to do it. Now, the only thing I have to say that stops this from being an S tier gym mistake is because there is only a few select muscle groups where I will say lightweight high reps. And one of them is most certainly side delt. When you're training side delts, it's one of those small muscle groups that is very, very hard to activate and can't take that much weight. So actually, using lighter weight for higher reps in even the 15 to 30 range is effective because you actually will fail. But even still, if you do the lower end of the spectrum on side delts, like 15 to 20 reps, it'll still likely be more effective because you can measure where you fail more accurately with heavier weight. But lightweight high reps is one of the original copes, and it's from all these old heads who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Guys, if you want to get a bigger chest, bench more weight. Don't be a fucking idiot and listen to, oh, we'll do all these chest flies for 30 reps. Come on, bro. You just want to do it because you're scared to lift the heavy weight. Stop being a pussy, pick some weight up, and fucking lift like a man, bro. Especially, you're over the age of 20 thinking, lightweight high reps, how do you even have balls, bro? Come on. You think I got this shit from fucking lightweight high reps? And if you guys don't know my story, I was 115 pounds. Now I'm 175 shredded. I would have never fucking got there if it wasn't for lifting heavy like a fucking maniac. Lightweight high reps, definitely A tier. Next up, we got not tracking calories. This is one of the worst things you could possibly do. Because if you never ever track your calories in your life, you will never know if you're progressing or not. You're just guessing at that point. Tracking your calories is almost essential. And everyone needs to go at least one phase of their life, in my opinion, 6 months to a year, where they track their calories to a T. Because even if you track your calories once, you'll always generally get a ballpark estimate of how much you're eating. But tracking your calories mitigates guessing. And guessing is what keeps you small. If you don't know if you're in a surplus or not, you're just trying to eat this, eat that, thinking, oh, well, I'm eating a lot, but I'm not gaining weight. This is why. Because you don't know if you're actually in a surplus. You could just be eating calorie-dense foods that make you feel full, but aren't actually loaded with calories, putting you in the surplus that allows you to build muscle. As soon as you know how to track your calories and track your food, you're not guessing anymore. You're making the most consistent progress, because the most important part of progress is hitting your calorie and protein goal. That's where people say the 80% diet, 20% training. Because of how important it is to actually be eating in your calorie surplus, main gain, or whatever your calorie goal is. Because you will not grow if you continue to guess. So tracking your calories is 100% going to be S tier, one above lightweight high reps. This is a good one right here. The perfect diet. Most people have this preconceived notion, and they won't even start lifting because they think, like I just said, 80% nutrition, 20% training. And most people never could do the nutrition in their life, right? It seems so hard for them, so miserable. That's why people think it's so hard to get in shape. If you ask a normal person who has never even tried at the gym, they go, oh, it's so much work. You have to eat 100% of the time. No. If you eat the quote unquote perfect nutrition, you are fucking yourself. Because of course, yeah, if you ate the perfect nutrition 100% of the time, you would get jacked as fuck, no shit. But it seems so difficult for most people that they don't even want to start. But the truth is, you don't need the perfect diet at all. You just need what you can do consistently. And there is no perfect diet anyways. If you hit the most important metrics, your protein goal and your calorie goal, with, I would say, 80% whole foods that you enjoy. You don't have to have chicken, broccoli, rice. You could have ground beef. You could have steak. Hell, you could fucking do some weird shit. You could do, I don't know, do a chicken, bacon, and rice bowl. I don't give a fuck what you do. But as long as you're eating relatively whole foods for 80% of your meals, you don't have to listen to this bullshit of the perfect diet. You need to find the diet that you enjoy, that you can stick to, and the foods that you can consistently eat in volume to put you in a surplus. And once you find that, then fitness, you realize all these people are a bunch of idiots because you don't have to eat the perfect diet to be in shape. You have to hit your protein and calorie goal. And you can even do that eating like shit most of the time. But the catch is, if you eat like shit, you will feel like shit. Right? But you will make progress doing it. I'm not going to lie to you. The reason you're small is because you're not eating the chicken and rice. No, that's what I'm against right now. The big thing with having a good diet is you're going to feel a lot better when you're eating more consistent foods. You'll have better energy, better motivation, and again, you'll feel a lot better. But you do not have to have the perfect diet to get in shape. This one kept me out of the gym for a long time because I was already a picky guy before going to the gym. So hearing that I had to eat all this perfect food kept me away from the gym because it scared me, right? I didn't want to change. But the second I realized that I can eat things I already like steak, ground beef, and it didn't have to just be chicken, and I could put sauces on the steak, fry it, do whatever the fuck I want. Even mix some chicken tenders with rice. I could do things that helped me get my protein and calorie goal that I enjoyed. That's when I made real progress. This one is going to go in the A tier. It will help you if you eat a perfect diet, but that excuse will keep you from starting most of the time. Speaking of diet, we got dirty bulking. I always love using this pick in the tier list, boys. Jay Cutler was actually a legend for bulking this hard. I can't believe he ran this. I'm pretty sure he has some statement where he ran like 10 meals a day. You guys know who Jay Cutler is? I'm not even going to explain to you. Go look him up. He's a beast. Dirty bulking is just a terrible idea in general. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's not going to keep you small. You're going to get fat as fuck. You'll definitely add some muscle too. But the big problem with dirty bulking is you're not really tracking. You're just eating as much as possible. And even sometimes when you eat as much as possible as a skinny guy, most skinny guys don't gain weight because it's too inconsistent. There's no plan behind dirty bulking. You're just eating whatever you have. And if you eat whatever you have, a lot of the times you won't progress. But on the flip side, a lot of the times you will progress, but it's not going to be the right weight and you'll end up looking like shit. You'll look bigger, but you'll still won't look that big and you mainly will just look a little bit fatter, especially at the end of the dirty bulk. So dirty bulking, I'm going to put it in B tier. It's not worth A or S because it will add size, but it's going to put you in probably a worse spot than you were before. This is going to be the most controversial one of the video. Low volume, high intensity training. Now, this is the biggest selling point for so many fitness coaches. They love doing oh, well, you could do 2 sets and grow. What? My thing is, the only scenario where you're going to do 2 hard sets and fucking grow, bro, is if you're on a ton of fucking trend. Because you're not doing 2 sets in the gym hard and growing. I am sorry. That is not how fitness works. But most of the time, this is a big cope out to training correctly and training hard in the gym because people want to be in the gym as little time as possible, which is understandable. But this isn't going to work 90% of the time because a lot of the times when you go in to do your 2 high intensity sets, you really don't take it to true failure. You end up just doing 2 pretty decent sets and walking out of the gym. You would get 20 times more benefit with 5 to 8 hard sets. My thing is, if you really put it on paper of how stupid this sounds, do you really think you're growing doing fucking 3 sets of bench and walking out of the gym? No, of course not. You need to do your incline movements, your flies. It's funny. This method of only doing low volume, high intensity has been disproven many, many times. Higher set programs have always outperformed lower set programs in every fucking study. Sorry it's science-based on you guys, but it's just true. I have to bring it up. And I will say this though, the only compliment I'll give it is, I agree with the intensity part and lower volume, but not super low volume, right? So this will keep you small because people, when they hear low volume, they take it the wrong way. Because if you did Mensa style training, but maybe 5 to 6 sets per muscle group, you can actually gain a lot of size. And I would say this philosophy really depends on the muscle group too. You can definitely get away with this with side delts, maybe even back squat. If you train back squat hard, you don't have to do much else. So I would also put this in B tier. It'll keep you small as fuck if you listen to the 2 sets. You will not grow. But you definitely can grow if you use it the right way and do low volume for around 5 to 6 sets per workout on whatever muscle group you're training to failure. It's just that philosophy doesn't work. God damn, I forget, Alex Eubank, even before he test maxed, still looked insane, bro. Holy fuck. We got influencer workouts. This shit kept me so small. I would listen to these guys who told me to do this fucking weird plate press on bench. I'll try to find a video of someone doing it. I have a funny memory of doing an influencer workout in the first gym I ever went to. And I just remember this one super jacked dude said, do this plate press, right? This incline plate press for bench. And I remember I was like, holy shit, like I'm actually getting a crazy pump. I was literally grabbing a plate and pressing it on an incline bench for like 20 reps. And I was like, oh, damn, I feel like crazy, right? I feel like fucking Superman. And I just remember this one aesthetic dude walked up to me and goes, yo, bro, what the fuck you doing? Literally just said, what the fuck you doing? And I went, dude, I'm hitting this like plate press, bro. It's influencer work. He literally goes, why wouldn't you just do incline dumbbells? And I went, yeah, I don't know. I didn't have an answer because I didn't realize what I was doing was some bullshit that doesn't actually work. Because the truth is, the staple movements will always outcompete these weird influencer exercises. And some of them are so fucking bad. And for example, Alex Eubank will tell you, oh yeah, to grow my chest, I did 3 sets of 20 bench, did all this volume, and sure, it worked for him. But for someone who doesn't have the genetically gifted chest of fucking Zeus, like, this dude literally looks like an actual Greek god. That's the reason he blew up. But guys will see Eubank do 3 sets of 20 chest and think, oh, I'll do that the rest of my life. That's going to be the key to growing my chest. It's not, and it won't work for you. Just because it worked for someone else doesn't mean it worked for you, and most influencer workouts are fucking garbage. It's good to look up to influencers and get inspired by their physique. I would say 80% of the workouts are a bunch of bullshit. Influencer workouts, and again, B tier. It's not quite deserving of A or S, because again, you're working out, you're going to grow. But you're not going to grow the most optimally at all. You will lose gains doing that. And we got the last and most important one. I've been hiding this one away. Inconsistency. Now, I'm covering everything else on the tier list with this. Inconsistency is hands down the number one thing that will keep you small with anything. Right? Tracking your calories, training correctly, getting in the gym itself. Because you can do most of these things and actually grow if you're consistent in the gym. You can get some gains. Because the truth is, the biggest thing that will always keep you small is you being a lazy fuck and not showing up for yourself. And 99% of the time, like I said, you don't have to have the perfect diet or even perfect training. If you have perfect consistency, you'll figure it out. You'll realize the bullshit that doesn't work. You're showing up every day. You're gonna grow either way if you just show up. Because after a while, you're going to want to learn the most optimal ways to train, the best way to train, because the gym becomes a habit for you. And if you're inconsistent in the gym, you could actually not commit a single sin on this list. But if you're inconsistent in the gym, you won't make any progress. You can train as perfectly as you want, actually eat the best diet possible for your goals, and you won't grow because you're not consistent. You don't stick to your plan. If you fall off the wagon and don't stick to your plan, you will never fucking grow. The truth is that your inconsistency is the real reason you're not growing. Not any of these methods. It's 90% of the time, you're not being consistent with what you need to do and the work you need to put in. Inconsistency is the killer of any progress you want to make. If you are consistent and make a few of these sins, you will still grow. Because guess what? I still grew. Even though I grew a lot more in my last 3 years of lifting, when I stopped making dumb mistakes, I still was consistent in my first years and still got some growth, just even doing everything wrong, just from being consistent. So if you want the superpower of fitness, show up when you need to. Inconsistency is gonna go in the S tier. Anyways, boys, you guys want one-to-one coaching from me? Links in the description. Sacrifice today's comfort for tomorrow's growth. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!